You know, there's almost something kind of meditative about the night before a shoot. It's just you and your gear, you know, maybe some last minute pre-production, quiet hum of anticipation, or if you're like me, it's more like a symphony of where the fuck is it? What? There's no way that I put it back in here. Wait. Of course, there's a specific cable I want to. Here's a thought. What if all of this chaos could actually be a reason you're not growing as a filmmaker? It kind of dawned on me during one of those late night preps. Like, there's a certain beauty within the whole process. The care we take in organization and mental preparation within our packing, it's kind of like the care we put into our shots, our lighting, and our framing. We're setting intentions for our mindset and approach, and ultimately how we'll perform and react while on set. How can our strategy and approach to gear and packing affect the way we shoot and even grow as cinematographers or storytellers? Stick with me here. At the end of the day, good filmmaking mostly comes down to a series of calculated and controlled steps. The last thing you want is to be out there in the thick of it, chasing the light, crafting the frame, and be held back by something you could have controlled. I want to do this video in a little bit of a different format. I just wrapped a couple of shoots over the last week or so I kind of have some excess gear that needs to get put away. But let's start by just laying out a little bit of groundwork. Now, you may think that on a shoot or while on set, it simply comes down to your skill set or your experience level that's going to get you through a day successfully. The reality is that for the large majority of professionals within this industry, how you perform on any given day is often a pretty direct representation of your preparation beforehand. And this often includes how you pack and decide on your gear. Of course, depending on your type of work, you may be the one handling all aspects of equipment, prepping the camera, you're bringing the lighting, maybe you're also doing sound. For other types of jobs where you're working with a crew, you may have people helping you handle these things, such as like a first AC, a producer, or a gaffer. These people can certainly help make prep a bit less stressful on your end, but as a DP, having a rock solid foundation of how you manage and allocate gear on every shoot is critical to not only making your life easier, but improving your efficiency and consistency of what you can deliver. Oh boy. Frankly, no matter what you're doing, whether you're prepping for your biggest shoot of the year with a 20-person crew, or you're just going out to shoot some B-roll for a YouTube video, you're gonna have to do some packing at some point. And for some of us, this process alone can be one of the most anxiety-ridden and daunting parts of all of it. Over the years, I've figured out a few ways that I can actually make this process enjoyable, but more importantly, controlled and repeatable. The first tip that I have for you guys is what I like to call the reverse packing list. This is probably not a new idea, but it's something that I kind of randomly did at one point, and honestly has pretty much changed my entire mindset. Packing lists really aren't anything new. For every project that you shoot, especially that goes successfully, after you get done, come back, pull out your phone. You can use a notes list. I use just the default app on iPhone, and create a packing list of everything that you brought on that shoot. If I'm doing a project that was similar to that one that I just did my reverse packing list for, I know everything's on that list. I'm gonna be able to reference that, check everything, pack, and I'll be good to go. If something was missing on a shoot or something didn't go quite right, or maybe you overpacked, remove them from that list. This may seem really simple. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I swear that this approach has completely changed my entire attitude when it comes to packing. It used to be so stressful and take me 4 hours. I'd classically be up till 3 a.m. before an 8 a.m. call time. But now I've got these packing lists, and the next time that project comes up or a similar type of shoot, reference that list and pack everything in 30 minutes rather than till 3 a.m. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is pouches. Think of it this way. When you're packing a large case, like a big receptacle, it's a huge amount of space to fill. You instinctively want to put random things in places. You want to fill it out. It feels satisfying, but that's honestly in some ways kind of overwhelming. Instead of trying to think how to occupy this whole space as one, I can occupy multiple smaller spaces. I can delineate. This is all of my signal cables. This is HDMI and SDI cables. Breaking apart and categorizing your gear just makes it so much easier to then pack as a whole. This one, I think I've had for 8 or 9 years now. This is basically like my essentials. It goes with me on any shoot. There's even a pouch within the pouch. It seems so simple, but eventually you just start having all of your gear in pouches. Like over here in my little closet, I've got all of my rigging parts in these kind of cheaper clear pouches. It seems a little messy and disorganized, but I mean, now I know I've got all of my top handles in one, magic arms, 15mm accessories. I've got quick release plates. Like, it's all sorted. Like, I can just grab this whole pouch, take it with me, like stick it in my case, and life is easier. You can get really cheap ones, like a huge pack of these on Amazon for like 15 bucks. There's a little bit nicer ones like Think Tank, and more recently, I've gotten these ones from Cord Bag, and yeah, they're worth it. I picked up these on Amazon as well. These are kind of like a knockoff bag. I don't know, it's not bad. It's just not gonna last years, but these things, like, they're just really good. This isn't sponsored, by the way. They just actually sent them to me and said like, hey, see if you like them. I like them. But hey, if you're somebody who hasn't even really got started and want to learn more about the filmmaking process, an amazing place for this is Skillshare. Not long ago, I got the chance to create my own Skillshare Originals series of classes all about freelance video editing and kind of the video industry as a whole. With this series, I decided to create a deep dive on how you can build a successful career and build your brand, attract new clients, develop stronger relationships, really kind of covering all of the bases. In case you don't know, Skillshare is an amazing community of knowledge where you can learn just about anything. Of course, video editing and filmmaking, but maybe you want to get better at business management. You want to figure out accounting, be better at procrastination. There's a class for just about everything. So you can, of course, check out my classes, but then you can go watch an amazing class from Ryan Booth, an incredible director about DIY cinematography. Skillshare has something for everybody. The first 500 people to click the link down in the description will get a free 1-month subscription. Thanks for sponsoring this video, Skillshare. Keeping things in cases whenever possible, whether it's the case that comes with them or picking up specific hard cases for that equipment. Of course, not everybody's gonna have the storage space wherever they are to be able to keep things in cases or have individual hard cases for things, but it does make it a whole lot easier when you're packing up for things if things have their own homes, like their cases, they stay with them. Condensing chargers is another one. We end up with a whole lot of chargers for all of the different equipment, and fortunately, a lot of things are charged or powered by USB-C. Something I've liked to do is eliminate a ton of the random adapters and excess cables. I personally like this one that I picked up on Amazon. It's got this detachable AC cable, which I think is the best, like 140 watts of maximum output, 2 USB-Cs, USB type A's. On any given shoot, I can just basically know that I grab this and it's gonna charge like 90% of my stuff. Some devices, of course, don't traditionally charge with USB-C. V-mount and gold mount batteries. Condor Blue has a USB-C to D-tap charger. It's bi-directional. Stick one of these in your kit and then you can ditch that big old bulky V-mount charger. I've talked about this a ton of times. It's so simple, but I mean, this thing has saved me in a pinch. I can't even count how many times. All right. Kind of an unnecessary amount of clamps for this case. All the packing and gear, you know, it's a lot of things to think about, but the more you can eliminate the variables, the things that you can control, and allow your entire focus to be dedicated to the story and actually making the best possible images, the faster you're gonna grow, the better work you're gonna create.